Hello Alchemy Divas, welcome back to a brand new video. I'm so glad you could join me today. On today's video I will be talking about a creature, a divine, whimsical, mystical creature that is very big in folklore. We're talking about fairies, and in this video I have brought together some very fairy perfumes, from the dark fairies to the whimsical fairies to the mischievous fairies. You know, fairies are deeply connected to the natural world, and they love to be in beautiful wild places. They also are drawn to music and dancing. These gorgeous creatures love small, pretty, shiny objects such as crystals, pearls, beads, and they really love food offerings, especially sweet things like honey, milk, and cakes. So they are, in essence, alongside witches and warlocks, important keepers of the earth. Yes, yes. When we come back, we will talk about my choices that I deem fairy perfumes. This is a Madagascan raw amethyst. These are the ridges from where they turn and grow each year. I will make a crystal video further down the track, darlings, to focus solely on crystals, because I believe they deserve a whole video on their own. So, cleanse your crystal like a fairy would with your hair. There's the rutilation, gorgeous masterpiece, all created by the earth. Before we dive into the tray, darlings, let's include some fantastic fairy scents in a minute. But before then, we will continue the tradition of a few cards as we end this week and call in a brand new week. We are now in Mercury retrograde, darlings. So let's see what comes by. Now, important fairy flowers which in scent can quickly deem it a fairy scent are flowers such as violet, roses, saffron, jasmine, carnation is a big one, lavender, which is a bee and butterfly fairy flower, moss, which is their favorite ground cover, strawberries, fairies love this plant, chamomile, which is another favorite ground cover, thyme, which is another favorite ground cover that the fairies absolutely love, geranium, lilies, jasmine. Now, fairies love freedom, and they love silence, and they love all their butterfly friends. Now, before we dive into the trays, I wanted to just quickly include some really fantastic fairy scents that aren't present here on my tray today. Perhaps the fairies took them, who knows, darlings? One that is a very important, big fairy scent, which I no longer use and am looking to find another bottle, is none other than Lolita Lempica. This is a forest flower fairy. This is a sweet but dark forest, floor-smelling, green, sexy fairy. But she is a liar. Don't believe her and anything she says. Another big fairy scent that is not on my tray also is Delina Exclusive. This one is a rose garden fairy. This is a head bitch fairy who rules the rose garden. She has her red velvet gloves and thorn spiked nails coming through them. Yes, I wanted to just add these two glorious perfumes, which I believe belong on the tray, which I no longer have. And there you have it. Now, let's head straight into our tray today, and let me talk about these grand, somewhat whimsical, sexy, magical scents that I call fairy scents. So I have ordered 2 statuettes of yay big. Not really for this video, but I was wondering if it would arrive on time, which it hadn't. So not to worry, I will definitely add them in my next videos. I've also added Lempica Land, which is a beautiful, gorgeous Lolita Lempica flanker, which I absolutely love and have worn in the past and really need another bottle. That is an absolute fairy scent as well. So number 1 on our tray today of fairy scent is none other than Diorissimo. This is the Lily Pond fairy. She is a fragile fairy, long, slender legs, very strong, defined, toned legs, jumping all day long through all those bell-shaped pendants of the lily of the valley tree or plant. She is the popular green leaves lily fairy, watery, long-lasting, absolutely divine, fresh, aquatic, very lily vibes, gorgeous. And that is our first fairy perfume on the tray today, Diorissimo. The second fairy scent on the tray today, darlings, is none other than Libre Le Parfum. She is the red-haired, busy, busy, curvaceous fairy. Red nails, red hair, red lips. She jumps from saffron to saffron, up to 20,000 times a day. Bless her gorgeous hands. She carries a whip. Yes, because she likes order. Liebe Parfum, saffron, orderly fairy. Amazing, as always. The next fairy scent on the tray today is Elizabeth Taylor, Diamonds and Emeralds. She is the Carnation Fairy, the Jasmine Fairy, the Rose Fairy, the Gardenia Fairy, Lily of the Valley Fairy, and Water Lily Fairy. This fairy has earned all her fairy badges, and she is a proud, aristocratic fairy, always in her magic, soft, tender, but a whole lot of everything at once. She has beautiful golden long hair. She is a flower queen fairy. She's been to all the rodeos and done that. And that is Elizabeth Taylor's Diamonds and Emeralds. Fantastic, beautiful fairy, beautiful forever and ever. Yes. And then we have Mugle Aura. Fairies love moss. They play, run, and live on moss. They build on moss. This is a moss fairy, a camouflage moss queen. Headley, lush, wild moss jungle fairy. Narcotic, quite poisonous type of fairy. She only eats moss and mint ice cream, and is as evil as they come. You can't mistake seeing her anywhere without her green serpent belt. She wears that gorgeous green serpent belt around her waist. It swivels and it hisses. Possibly a real snake or serpent. And this is a moss fairy, Aura by Mugle. This is a real fairy scent. And then we're going to move over to another major fairy scent. Major. Magie Noire. Again, this is another fairy scent who's earned all her fairy badges and wings and crowns. This is a jasmine fairy, rose fairy, honey fairy, iris fairy, oak moss fairy. Yes, oak moss. This fairy is another flower queen fairy. She is a smoky, seductive, dark fairy. She is a honeyed, sugared, sweetened up, hot mess fairy. She is a rose chypre fairy. She has black hair with shades of green running through them. She has green eyes. She bewitches you over time. She is a very serious, bewitching type of fairy. Wear with care. Yes. You only need one sniff and you're bewitched. Yes, yes. Now, darlings, another fairy scent which I have run out of, which I always deemed magical and dark and fairy-like, is this Gucci Bloom Ambrosia, which is a honeysuckle fairy. This is a honeysuckle fairy scent. This fairy always wears black and always is grooming her hair whilst sitting on polished wood, surrounded by honeysuckle, left, right, and center. She lives close to ponds. She has a bit of a loud mouth, and they call her Loud Lips. And that is Gucci Bloom Ambrosia, another very big, fairy, witchy, warlock type of scent. Yes. This is a perfume which I deem a fairy scent. This is a herbal fairy, an aquatic, watery fairy, a lavender fairy. This is a fairy always dressed in white, pure, aquatic, green, herbal, aromatic. This fairy loves all the other fairies unconditionally. She is not self-obsessed, but obsessed with nature. And that is Calvin Klein's Obsessed, launched in 2017. Very aromatic. I normally layer. The beautiful aquatic fairy. Almost like a drop of rain on a fairy flower. Gorgeous. Now, as we head into our last fairy scent on the tray, let's talk about it. The name itself conjures up images of fairies, and it is Flower Bomb Orchid. This is Miss Potent Peach Ruby Fairy. Miss Potent Peach Ruby Fairy. This is how we imagine a red ruby gemstone to smell like and perhaps taste. This is a herbal, peachy, medicinal fairy. Yes, yes, yes. I have images of this fairy serving red, peachy cocktails to everyone at the door. There is a lot of sparkle and fizzy drinks. You are about to enter a sexy fairy cocktail bar, yes, where everything is red. from the lights to your fairy chairs. How hot is that? And this is Flower Bomb by Victor and Rolf, Ruby Orchid. Fantastic red fairy scent. Yes. Divine. Once again, darlings, don't forget to have a look at your perfumes. Check out the flowers. You could very well have more than a dozen perfumes that would be deemed a fairy scent. Violet, roses, saffron, gardenias, jasmine, carnations, lavenders, lilies, honeysuckle, iris, strawberries, and of course, moss. Thyme is a herb that fairies absolutely love. Sprinkle a bit of thyme throughout your garden. See what happens. Okay, we have card 35, Known and the Unknown. Allow yourself to feel free as you align with joy. Your strong spirit is rising. Pretty much sums up Mercury retrograde, the known and the unknown. Especially to do with communication. Allow yourself to feel free as you align with joy. Your strong spirit is rising. And then card number 26, Om and Shanti. In the playground of your own self-expression, all you will find is joy and peace. We have the word joy running through 2 cards today. Gorgeous. And then card 39, flowing together. In grace you live. In harmony you explore. What a brilliant card, especially after that huge grand water trine. Oh my goodness, darlings. Oh, wow. That was something else. And there you have it, darlings. Our video today on fairies and fairy scents. Wear your fairy scents with joy. And thank you all for another absolute divine presence of yours watching my videos. I hope you give the video a like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Until the next video, have a lovely weekend and I'll see you on the next one. Mwah. Bye.